$3,000 and only 2 weeks of prep. Spent 3 weeks going all around Japan. And what she has to tell me is unbelievably shocking. Yep, nope, I don't want any of that. I have now made a complete ass out of myself in multiple countries. It's day 9 and I have woken up in a haze. I walked a lot over the last few days in Karatsu, but thankfully my knee isn't in any pain, so we're gonna file that one under handled. During my tea and toast time, it looks like I got an email from Matt last night. You remember him, right? The gentleman who was buying us all the beers on the train in episode 1? That's right, he has a bar picked out for us in Tokyo. So in about 10 days, he's gonna take me out. Which is pretty wild when I think about it, because I've already been here for just over a week, so 10 days feels like forever and a day away, but also right around the corner. I'm super excited. Arriving at the train station, it's the same process as normal. Show up, book your ticket, get on. I'm just going from Fukuoka to Osaka, not a big deal. But today, I learn a lesson. If you wait too long, it might be oversold. So I'm gonna have to wait 45 minutes. And this is a good opportunity to really think about in the future. If I know where I'm going or leaving, I can book up to 4 days in advance. If I do that, I won't have this problem again. So far, every time I've been on a train going somewhere, it's been preceded by some sort of activity, and I'm kinda on the worn out side of things, so the trains have been very sit and rest, collect myself. But today, I'm feeling pretty awake and energized, so I'm gonna study what's in the Kansai region. And that consists of the cities of Osaka, where I'm staying, Kobe, Nara, and Kyoto. They're all 45 minutes in any direction from Osaka, so I could pretty much do whatever I want with relative ease. And Kinkaku-ji, the Golden Temple, will definitely be the #1 place I go. When you ride the JR between large cities, you're often going to be on the Shinkansen, which is the super fast bullet trains. But once you get into these metro areas and need to go to a more precise area in them, you are going to be off the Shinkansen and get on other smaller JR lines, which is what I had to do in my transfer at Osaka. But somewhere along the line, the schedules got mixed up and I arrived a little late and missed my transfer. So now, okay, all right. I have to figure out what platform I'm on, what train did I get off of, which trains are here, and I'm very visibly confused. Thankfully, an attendant on the platform came over and spoke to me in English even to help set me straight, because I was really struggling without the ability to read on, where do I go? Thankfully, he pretty quickly got me all sorted out and no more confusion, so I'm on my way to the share house. I booked with them through Airbnb so they know I'm coming, and it said in the description that this was an old Mitsubishi house. Apparently, the company used to build apartments specifically for its employees so they got all the amenities they needed and then commute very quickly to work down the road. I can't imagine what this conversion is going to look like. This share house is huge, by far the biggest place I've stayed anywhere yet. It's 5 stories tall. And I'm greeted at the front door by Sawako. She's one of the house hosts and she gives me a quick tour. There's a great big common area. I mean, we're talking a kitchen with 3 different stoves in it, bunch of seating. She says that most of the residents will gather there after work. So if I hang out for a bit, I get to meet some of them. Sitting down in the common area, Sawako explains to me what exactly the share house is. It's a term I've not heard before, but it turns out there are a lot of permanent residents, students and workers who have apartments here, and then a number of units are dedicated to traveling, mostly for Airbnb guests, and they're set up kind of dorm style, about 3 bedrooms apiece with a small shared kitchenette, and the rest of the amenities are shared by everybody in the building. So I might be doing laundry along somebody who actually pays rent to live here full time. While I'm sitting here in the common space talking with Sawako, it's becoming really obvious that this whole building has its own community. I mean, people are walking in and she's greeting them by name and asking how school went or work went. And in that way, it really feels like a college dorm kind of, where everybody interacts in these common areas and just has these shared experiences of, hey, how are you? And I'm doing this, I'm gonna cook dinner, come join me. But eventually, we've been talking for 2 hours probably. Sawako's like, hey, yeah, this is my job. I'm gonna go home. The more I'm chatting with the folks here at the share house, the more people from the share house join our conversations. I'm probably talking to 8 people at once right now. The beer is starting to come out. It's becoming clear to me we're gonna be a bit of a raucous crowd tonight. So I wanted to get out my camera. Just like everything else, I'd like to be able to take those memories home with me. But as I go to get it, I stop. If I get out my camera and I do get the memories on video, that's great for me. But what if getting the camera out causes people to be performative or shy even? If I do that, would I even have the experience that I could have? Is it worth getting the camera out? And I decided not to. I wanted more to have an uninhibited interaction with everybody here. Have fun, talk about whatever, be loud, be obnoxious, maybe even be drunk, who knows? So for the rest of this, there won't be as many photos or as much video, but by God, let me tell you, plenty of stuff happens. Now we've been at this for about an hour and a half, and I can see other residents come in and see us and go, yep, nope, I don't want any of that. But eventually we are running lower on alcohol. I mean, there's 8 or 9 of us. We're consuming pretty quickly. I'm like, hey, guys, we need more, right? And they're like, yeah, we're all out. So tell you what, I got $100. Whatever everybody wants, I want the party to keep going. And they're like, whoa, yeah, that sounds awesome. Because there's a store only 2 blocks that way. Let's go. As soon as I mention getting more alcohol, everybody's in agreement. About 9 of us just immediately get up and leave. I mean, it's not a you go pick it up, it's we're taking the party to the store. And it's only a couple blocks away, thankfully. Moving through the store, this isn't just about alcohol for everybody. They need snacks as well. And I would normally just have chips or fries at the bar, but they're giving me packages of baby mackerel, okonomiyaki, all kinds of stuff. Listen, I'm just the one with the money for this. I want them to show me how they party. Waiting in the checkout line to go home with all of our alcohol, something catches my eye. It's this bright red glass bottle. No labels, just kind of sculpted, and I'm a sucker for the color red, so I ran over and grabbed it. We'll throw it in. And everybody looked at me like, hey, nice choice. Like, what do you mean? This bottle will turn out to be a bit of a landmine for me because I thought maybe it was vodka. It's not, it's soju. And if you haven't had soju, it's incredibly powerful stuff that goes down way too easily. They all seem to know this and probably know that I don't know this, so the snickering is making me feel a little uneasy. Once we get back with our just enormous amount of alcohol, it's time to actually consume it. Everybody wants to talk to me about my trip so far. They don't, why did you do this? This is a super intense trip. You don't even speak Japanese, which is also why I don't understand half of the conversations happening at this party, but hey, we're smiling and drunk. I'm not complaining. So the whole night is starting to get broken up by spots where I don't really remember anymore. I mean, you know when you get to the point where everybody's got their arms around each other and maybe people start singing, you don't even know, you're just like, yeah man, great. Then I kind of black out a little bit more and black out a little bit more and continue to disappoint my mother with how much alcohol I've consumed. And then we get to the finale.
Welcome. I am honored.
Of course, this can go nowhere but one place. I do end up praying to the porcelain god. The thing is, in Japan, the toilet area is separate from everything else in the bathroom, generally speaking, and in a pretty skinny area. I mean, you're just sitting down, doing your business, and leaving. So this bathroom is extremely small. Like, the door is here, it swings open, the toilet's here. There's barely enough room to open it. I have figured out how to get myself wedged in there such that I can rest my head on the toilet seat, and I have wrapped my legs around the back of the toilet. So I've become essentially a permanent fixture in this bathroom. At some point I come to, and I wouldn't necessarily call myself conscious, but I'm aware there are humans around me, and I turn to look out the door of the bathroom that I've wedged myself in, and there is Kumiko and Hiroyuki laughing at me. Thankfully, I'm drunk enough that I'm not too embarrassed, but in the back of my head, I'm like, this is bad, you've gone too far. And they start snapping photos of me, taking pictures of me in the most embarrassing possible way that I could be. And I'm starting to remember, oh yeah, you're a guest here, maybe stop. Well, there is no escaping it. I have now made a complete ass out of myself in multiple countries, so that's great with photo evidence. Yep, all right. But I don't have to worry very long because I'm blacking out again. And this time, when I come to, I'm still wedged in the bathroom. Don't worry, this is still a problem. But I do pull myself out. I look around, and it's quiet. Where is everybody? Did I get left in the bathroom? Yep, I did. I got left in the bathroom. Everybody else went home. In fact, they even cleaned up everything. There's basically no evidence there was ever a party. There is also, though, this person in the corner of the room studying, who I do not know. And I'll tell you, that door didn't close. So someone came into the common area and saw some random white dude on the floor in the bathroom stuck and went, yeah, no, that's not enough to make me go home. I'll just go to the corner and let him have some space. Day 10, the punishment. Unsurprisingly, I didn't wake up till much later in the day. I don't even remember when I woke up at this point, but I can sure tell you it had knocked off my plan to go to Nara today. That's not happening. I don't have the energy. And honestly, at this point, I'm pretty sure they're gonna kick me out. There's no way they're gonna be like, yeah, guest, come over here and puke in our toilet and lock up our bathroom in our common area. Yeah, it's fine. No rules were broken. And I made it down to the showers. No one's showering. Okay. I'm waking up a bit. The cold water's helping. I gather up my stuff, step out of the hallway, and then I hear it. Good morning, Anthony. Shit. Fun little fact, sarcasm isn't really much of a thing in Japanese culture and or language. It doesn't translate well, and as a traveler, if you try to tell sarcastic jokes, they'll generally land kind of flat, and people will not get what you're trying to convey. So it's even weirder when I hear a Japanese person use sarcasm on me. And it's Sawako behind me, saying, Ohio, Anthony. It is clearly not morning, so you would not use Ohio. So I am getting jabbed in the back. Okay, good morning, Sawako. How are you? And what she has to tell me is unbelievably shocking. Hey, everybody had a great time last night. Oh yeah? Yeah, they did. I had a great time too. Nothing of note happened. She said, well, yeah, everybody was like, yeah, we got food and drinks, and it was a great time. We went really late, and then Anthony had a really rough time. Yep, yes, I did. What did they tell you? She's like, oh, yeah, they showed me. Please don't, please don't. And she turns her phone around, and there's the picture of me stuck in the bathroom, drunkenly kind of smile puking. Great, great. Now 3 people know. Yeah, they posted it to the group line chat. This is bad, you've gone too far. Sawako suggested me, she said, hey, have you thought about going to Kobe? Nope, I was planning on Nara. Why don't you go rest for a bit, and I'll come get you, and we can go to Kobe together. It's about a 30, 45-minute train ride. We can get some dinner. You clearly need to eat. So a few hours pass and Sawako comes up to my place and knocks on the door to make sure I'm both alive and ready to go out for the night. Thankfully, I'm both. We just get on the train, we're chatting, really not bringing up last night, so it seems like, okay, this actually is okay, it's past. Kobe really has that neon Japan feel that you might have seen or heard, or kind of like the Hong Kong inspiration for Blade Runner. Everything's dark, but we've got just very bright bleeding lights everywhere. And we're walking around the city after dark, trying to find a place that we can afford because Kobe beef's really expensive, and I don't have that much of a budget for tonight. She said, well, why don't we go to an izakaya? Well, I haven't been to an izakaya yet, so let me tell you what they're all about. The best way to describe it or have some sort of comparison is like a Spanish tapas joint, but Japanese. And if you don't know what Spanish tapas is, it's a restaurant or a bar that's designed to have lots of little bites, a large variety, but nothing's too filling. So you can grab different flavors, share with the group. Generally, the experience is that izakaya are smaller in the amount of seats it has for people, and the tables are also smaller. So you might just have tables for 2 or 4 folks. You're not gonna have like a large dining table you would have at a sit-down restaurant. we find a corner down here in this basement that is very dark. So I'm like, okay, where are we at? It's nicely designed, but what's going on? Well, it turns out many advancements in food culture are going on because there aren't any waitresses or waiters here. I mean, they are to deliver the food, but they're not asking me what we want. What she shows me is there's a tablet off to the side here with their entire menu of items. And all you do is order whatever you want, and then eventually it will come out as soon as you've hit order. While I'm here in the izakaya, it really occurs to me that this is something special. Not everyone is going to connect with the people where they stay. I don't know why. I'm not gonna fluff myself up and tell you that it's because I'm some sort of magical social butterfly, but sometimes it was hard during this trip to really be in the moment because I'm like, oh my God, this is so serendipitous. It's almost storybook-like. Like I wrote it. Like it doesn't just happen this way, but for me, it kept happening, and that is so, even now it's kind of overwhelming to recant because it just doesn't seem real. After dinner, we wander around some alleys, but they're not like the dark alleys you'd think of. They're fluorescently lit, and on each side, it's a bunch of storefronts with their metal shutters pulled down. I'm sure this is a really happening place during the day, but tonight it feels like a really just weird hallway we're going through. And we have to get back to the train eventually though, because in Japan, most of the time, trains don't run 24/7. So it is actually possible to get stuck with no way to get home other than a taxi or something that's gonna cost you a whole lot more money. It's a pretty quick night out. We enjoyed walking around for a bit, got our food, but I need to get back to the share house. She needs to get home. I have tomorrow in Kyoto, so I definitely need to get more sleep tonight than I did last night. We rode the train back to Osaka and had to split ways a couple stops early because she lived on a different part of the city. And then I rode back to the share house, got up to my dorm, unpacked, kind of got into comfy clothes and was thinking about bed. But then I heard a bunch of people talking. And I thought, well, okay, sounds like they're out on the porch, probably smoking. Here's a coin flip opportunity. Either I step out on my porch and I lean forward and they notice me and I know them, or I don't. But if I do, we can probably hang out some. And as it turns out, it's Hiroyuki next to me, and they're having another small party, and apparently one of them lives in the apartment next to the dorm that I'm staying in. Seriously, this whole trip, I couldn't write it better if I tried. I was invited to come next door and play Bomberman 64. But I'm number 5, so that means that loser's gonna get knocked out for a round, and unfortunately, I'm not particularly good, so I spent a lot of time waiting around. But that gives me some room to have some beers as well. Hiroyuki's there, and they've been drinking for a bit, so everybody's pretty raucous again. This was a great experience because it wasn't about spending time in Japan with Japanese people doing a specifically Japanese thing. It was incidentally Japanese people, and we were just hanging out, spending time what they would otherwise be doing. They weren't putting on a show for me. This didn't need to fit into some expectations of what being in Japan is like. I just got to hang out with what felt like friends, and that's because they were. After getting knocked out of Bomberman for probably the 13th time, it's time for bed. It's not to say I haven't had fun the last couple days, but first one was really just travel. Second one was, well, I wouldn't say wasted, but hangovers are not generally the travel experience that you're writing home about. So tomorrow, I'm pretty excited to get back to it. It's a full day out and about, and it's gonna be one city. It's gonna be Kyoto. It has Kinkaku-ji, the headquarters of Nintendo, and I'm told if I go up the right mountain, I'll find a bunch of monkeys. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the video and sticking through what was probably a bit of a secondhand embarrassment episode for you. But all the same, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Worlds Within Reach, and comment down below about where you might have become a little embarrassed by some decisions you made while traveling.